Hello and welcome to the Spirit on Tap podcast. I am Anna and I am the DM for this campaign. I would like to introduce you to my players. We're going to start with Helen this time.
Ooh, hello, I am Helen. I play Attendant from Sin, the Tiefling Grave Domain Cleric.
And then we have ERIK.
Hi, I'm ERIK. I play Bora the Foreigner, the White Tiger Leonin fighter who's also a big old dumb boy.
I think
we love him.
Himbo.
He is the sweetest. We must protect him.
And then we also have GINNY.
I'm GINNY and I play Ka, the Ganassi Circle of Stars druid.
So in the previous episode, we had quite a lot of passive-aggressive conversation going on, and people not being able to figure out if people were teasing them or not. However, despite all of this, the group came up with a plan to get this small-time gangster Chul to trust them, and they decided to do this by offering to essentially turn on Almark. So they ran the plan by Chunso and the Lotus Fellow Almark. Who both agreed to go along with this plan. They restocked their supplies. Carl was able to rearmor themselves after losing everything in a shipwreck. And then they set off into a post... Oh, this is so great.
Lost literally everything. Including my body.
You still had your abacus. No, you don't even have the abacus at the moment because you sent it away. So they made their way out into the city to a small tenement building that belongs to associates of Almark, where they can stay while they undertake their mission. So, you guys, the last, 12 hours, it's been raining heavily. And now, it's a nice, I would say it's probably mid-morning to midday sort of time right now. And the air is nice and crisp, and there's a breeze coming off the sea and up the mountains, which is cooling the air down considerably. But Bora, you know that probably in a couple hours, it's going to get quite humid as the heat starts to cause all the water to evaporate.
There's a 30% chance it's already humid.
But for now, at least in the really, really wealthy parts of the town and up in the mountains, it's nice and cool and crisp. And you have been directed to a tenement building, which is down in a couple blocks away from one of the big bridges that leads from the port to the poor district. So I believe, Ka, you memorized the map.
I did.
You fancy feats. So I'm going to ask you just real quick, at advantage, just roll a survival check. Just to see how quickly you get there. At advantage. I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah.
18, yes.
Okay, so...
Thinking is hard.
I love this. We should just That's thinking is hard.
That's the new slogan of the campaign. Thinking is hard.
So it takes you a few moments to recall. This is a new city, and you only really spent 5 minutes looking at this map, which is still quite a long time to be fair. But you managed to get there relatively okay. You take one wrong turn, but you managed to figure out your mistake very, very quickly. And you make your way to this small building which seems to be squashed between some warehouses, and it has a old, slightly worn out looking wood exterior, and it looks like it's about 4 levels high. It's about as high as a lot of the warehouses here, and is very easily missed if you're not looking out for it. You see that there is a doorway with a step out front where there is a very heavily bearded dwarf who has his beard and his hair sort of braided in a way that kind of looks as though he's just trying to cool himself down so that his hair won't get matted and frizzy because of the humidity. He looks quite tanned and quite like he spent a lot of time in the sun. And he steps aside as you approach the door. This building isn't like kind of raised up like Olmoc's house was. It's just maybe like one step, and then there's the door into the main little tenement area.
And just as a reminder, we were sent here by Chunso, and
So
Chunso knows this person.
He knows the landlord. He doesn't necessarily.
Okay.
You don't know if he knows the.
He knows this specific
knows the
person.
who owns the building.
Okay. Atonement from Sin will walk forward, and as she walks forward, she will cast Prestidigitation on herself, just to clean herself up, and she will say, "Good afternoon. We are associates of Master Chunso. He told us that we would be able to stay here."
The dwarf looks at you, and as he's staring at you, the door opens, and you see a male gnome come out, and he looks at the dwarf, and he's like, "Sorry, mate, let's get going. We'll miss the ship otherwise." And he's like, the dwarf is like, "Alright." And he kind of looks at you, like, kind of like, "Are you mad?" sort of a look.
Oh.
Which you don't see, actually. But Ka and Bora see this.
Oh.
And the gnome and the dwarf, like, wander off down into the port.
I do not think that he worked there. I think he may have just been staying here, and I took it the wrong way. That's on me. I just assume anyone who's standing at the door is the doorman. So that one's on me.
Someone is used to a certain level of lifestyle.
Where I am raised, the person who is at the door is there to greet you. So, and that was the same at Amok's house. You know, when we arrived, we were greeted by Chunso. So I just presumed that this dwarven gentleman also worked here, but now I just feel like a fool. And she's just gonna walk inside. She's just gonna go. She's not even gonna wait. That's so embarrassing.
You push open this door, and it leads into a corridor with some steps going up to the next level.
She just keeps going.
Push the door open.
She just keeps going. She doesn't even want to hear what the other two have to say. She's so embarrassed.
Atonement.
She's gone.
Okay. I'm gonna look around to the front. I'm gonna follow her inside and just like look around and see if there's like anybody there, or if there's like a key rack or something.
So as you go in, the inside is, I wouldn't say it's like fairly narrow. I think the full width of this building is probably, you're looking at 40 to 50 feet in like total width, but it looks like it goes back quite far. And this first, like, the corridor is quite narrow. There's a couple of doors on this level, and you can see the stairwell goes up quite a few levels, and you can see a few doors on each one. So following the instructions you were given by Chunso, you go to the top floor. Well, he told you to go to the top floor. I didn't actually say it in the session, but I kind of was assuming that he would have written it all down on a piece of paper for you to memorize. So you know the place that you're staying will be on the top floor, but at least on the level that you're at now, you can't see any indication of people living. Well, you can tell people live here, but no one is here at the moment. And you can't see like anyone who could be around to help people out. But it doesn't. Yeah, so you would know where to go. So you know it's the top level. I would say that this place, it looks like it's more like it's been brushed clean, but it hasn't had like a proper clean for a while. So you can see dirt, you can see like what might look like maybe like water damage along some of the wall. And it looks like it has been swept clean, but it's literally just like a brushing of dust and dirt and mud out of the door, sort of a clean. But yeah, you know to go to the top floor.
Alright, so Kyle would essentially wander and be like, Atonement? Do you know where you're going?
I'm gonna roll a perception check and see how far she's gone, and to see if she can hear.
Oh, I think you would be able to hear easy. It's not that big of a building.
Okay. If she can hear it, then she'll just kind of turn around and just yell. No, but I'm okay. She'll just keep going.
I would say the width of this corridor is like it's wide enough for a person to stand with like elbows out kind of thing, and then like the stairwell is kind of just wide enough for a person, maybe like a large person to walk up as well. So
Did Atonement walk past the stairwell?
She would have seen it straight away. I don't know. Did you walk past the stairwell or did you go up the stairwell?
I think she would have just gone up it.
So embarrassed, she's gone up the stairwell.
Literally, just left.
Alright, well then I will follow Atonement up the stairwell.
I think after she goes up, I don't know if this has more than... Obviously, she doesn't know if there's more than one set of stairs, but she's just going to go up the first set to the first floor, and then she's just going to stop.
Stairs going up to like maybe like fourth floor.
Okay, well, she's going to realise that it's probably too dumb to go that far, so she's going to go up to the first floor, or the second floor for the Americans. Shit. The one that isn't oh no.
The one above the ground floor.
You got 1 or 2 flights of stairs?
One flight. I'm on the first floor.
We're going English style then.
Yes. I'm on the first floor. And then she'll just kind of stand and just look down. Just not make eye contact with anyone.
Is she just so embarrassed that she just doesn't want to exist right now?
Yes, it's exactly that. That's just the most embarrassing thing that's happened to her in a while.
I loved it.
She was trying to be helpful, and it just backfired almost immediately.
It's almost like privileged rich kid goes to like...
Privileged, yes. Rich, that's a no.
Not isolated. What's the word I'm looking for? There's like sheltered.
Yeah.
Sheltered, yeah.
I'm like the homeschool kid that doesn't know how to interact with anyone.
Do you think that she saw us looking at her? Because this just became more awkward as she sped off hurriedly in a place that she doesn't know.
We should probably go make sure she's safe.
She's most definitely probably safe. I mean, she only went up a floor of steps. Sorry, I said that weird. A flight of steps. Where could she have really gone? More vertical?
Well, the higher you go up, the farther you have to fall. I'm just gonna follow her.
Do you think she's gonna jump off the roof?
No! It's a post hoc justification, like, Kyle wants to get upstairs and see what's going on, see what the new digs are like. But they're trying to be, like, polite about it, kind of, and just trying to, like, figure out how to... We're just gonna follow. We're just gonna...
Bora's just gonna, like, stand at the foot of the steps for a moment, just, like, think about how weird this entire interaction's been. They sleep at the estate for one night, and now they're weird. And you're just gonna let that linger while you just cut scene to someone else, like...
So I'm just gonna walk up the flight of stairs, and I'm gonna, like, come across Atonement.
I think as soon as she realizes that you're there, she's like, yes, everything is good and safe up here. Yep, there is no dangers.
Persuasion or deception, whichever one you
I feel like, I mean, it's not really lying. I guess it's just persuasion.
And then if Ginny, you want to roll insight against it.
I do.
I got a... What did you get?
I got a 9.
Oh, I got a 17.
Yep, so you know, like, Atonement, you know, she's checked, it's safe.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yep, there is no rust
monsters
here. No, they are all good.
You can never be too sure.
Exactly.
We certainly weren't
just-
expecting them the first time.
No, I'm just being thorough. Anyway,
Top floor, I believe is where we're going.
Yes, top. I knew it was the top floor. You don't have to remind me. I remember.
Okay.
Keeps going.
And Ka's just gonna like walk up.
So the apartment, you go up to the you have to go up 4 flights of stairs to get to it, and you come to this door towards the back of the building, and this looks like the apartment, or I'll just call it the apartment that Chunsu told you to find. This is where you will be. Junso, this is the one where you'll be staying at. So he did say that he arranged for someone to leave a key or a way to get in somewhere nearby, but he hasn't told you who, what, or like where it might be. So if you want to look for a way to get in, I will have you all roll investigation, please.
Are we indoors?
Yes.
I want to do the cool thing of the very Toff Beifong-esque and like slam my foot down and see if I can like feel it.
Is
Is
this
that
how
allowed?
you're going to be doing things now?
That's how I did it the first time.
I don't think you like properly slammed your foot down.
Well,
though.
it's how I've been imagining it in my head.
Oh.
I'm just Toff Beifong with purple.
Just please tell me the floors are so rickety her foot just goes through the floor. Like, that's all
You
I
know
want.
what?
How strong do you think I am?
What I'm going to do, you can roll to do that.
Mhm.
If you roll under a 5, I'm gonna make you do a dex saving throw.
Okay, that's fair. So, but because I'm inside, I get my proficiency on top, don't I?
I think it's if you're listing your hearing, if you're using your hearing, or
I thought it
using
was.
speed.
I thought it was. Wait, I wrote it down. Let me.
Yeah, I didn't
we
write
can-
it down.
So, what am I doing? Just a perception check with.
Perception check.
my-
If you roll under 5,
I don't think I can physically. I can't do that, but sure.
no, on the dice. It's not including the modifiers.
Oh.
What'd you roll?
Oh, not including the modifiers?
Oh no.
Oh, whatever. I mean, I rolled a natural 2, but plus all my other stuff, it's a 9.
Okay.
This isn't my day. It's not going well.
Okay, instead of rolling a dexterity save throw, just roll a straight up luck check, please. DC is 10.
That's a 12.
Okay,
Aw.
Shut up, ERIK.
You slam your foot and you hear the sound of wood breaking and crunching underneath your foot, but it doesn't collapse all the way through. Ka, I'm gonna say that you notice this too. When she raises her foot back up, you do see that, like, even before she raises her foot, you see the wood is sort of those panels have like splintered off the floor and have bent slightly.
Okay, did I at least see the key?
No, not with a 9.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Well, that
Not
being the
with a
case,
9.
she's once again just gonna like embarrassingly sigh and just like kind of crouch down on the floor and just cast mending on it because she can't break the floor. That's just embarrassing. She hates this building. She
And
never
this-
wants to come back here.
I was saying, Bora, you hear this.
I was gonna say, at
crunching
this
noise.
moment, at this moment, Bora has now reached the 2nd floor and just sees Atonement from Sin on the ground. Just
I would
like
say that you hear
trying
the
to
crunching
mend
noise
the
and then
floor.
Atonement muttering.
As
I'm
you
sorry.
do
I am not used to multiple stories. I did not realize that floors could be so flimsy. I am used to one level. Okay, I'm sorry. This building is confusing to me.
Atonement.
Buildings are hard.
Atonement. If I not this one. Atonement. If I may offer you a piece of advice.
Please.
Just one. I don't know what kind of poor districts you stayed in before, but when we say the poor district, we mean it's a miracle these buildings have not collapsed upon themselves. with how poor the infrastructure
I have
is.
found that out the hard way by nearly breaking the floor.
Yeah, you may
Okay?
have also, depending upon where you stomped your foot, you could have also very well taken down the entire apartment building, and that
Oh,
would also be a little less optimal.
I don't think I have the magic capability to fix a building. You know what?
But you
I-
don't have to. It's okay.
I didn't.
You've managed.
I didn't.
It was just
You
just
know
a
what?
slight wound.
Milan
It's done.
is very different to Kuzubuchi. Okay, I have traveled around a lot, but nowhere else is like Milan. And I apologize. And honestly, I'm just going to let you guys lead this until we get into the jungle, when I can actually be useful. But right now,
Would you like me to lessen your embarrassment for a moment?
I mean, if possible, because I am not having a great day.
Boris is gonna punch the floor himself in a different spot.
Why?
Roll an attack, please.
That is
I roll. Wait. Let me see my.
that is so chaotic.
Look, I'm just trying to be a
Why are
buddy.
we attacking the building? If this building collapses, I swear to God, Bora.
I feel like it's a scene from The Incredible when Helen's like, "You brought down a building," and it was like it was coming down anyway.
Wait, Bora, what was your attack roll?
I'm trying to find what my bonus would be.
If you
Okay,
break the building,
I rolled a 23.
Oh, okay,
Jesus
so
Christ!
Oh no.
I was really hoping it was going to be really low, so you punch the floor, but nothing happens. But no, with this one, you punch the floor. It was the floor that you punched, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I punch it for if you're doing for my normal
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
strike
damage.
I punch it for 7 points of
Jesus Christ!
Okay, so with that, you punch full, but you punch it a bit harder than you expected, so you sort of like stumble and you kind of go in. You punch a hole through it, so a couple of shit, and you go in up to your shoulder. Now, like, if you were to be looking from the floor below, you would just see your arm poking through. And you guys, you see, like, again, it's like he wasn't expecting to actually punch as hard as he did. And so he does look surprised as his whole arm goes all the way through.
I guess I don't know my own strength. Does this help cure your embarrassment now? As he just like does one of these adjustments where he's just trying to like use one hand to get the rest of his body like back up and balance. He just like throws his arm out from the hole as he wrests it free.
Did you punch the floor? Because why did you punch the floor?
I thought it would help you not be as embarrassed.
That is very sweet, but I was just trying to see.
Well, as he stares at the hole in the floor.
It's okay. I've got it. And
No, it's fine. I mean, like I said, this isn't gonna be the only hole in here like this, and
well,
he'd probably just like point around to the various places that repairs have been made anyway. So, what were you trying to find by stomping the floor?
Oh, that's an excellent thing. Bora,
Yes.
I feel like you might know where to find a key a little bit better than most of us. You knew last time, that's for sure.
I mean, well, last time I asked someone for it. I mean, so curious. Was there like a reception area at the like entrance of this apartment or some sort of
No,
like that?
No.
it's literally
There
just
was
a door, and
there
you
was
go
a-
straight into the corridor.
There was a dwarf, and there was a gnome, and they went off towards the thing, but they did not seem to work here. With like a slight glance at atonement from...
she'll just kind of look down at the ground and like just avoid looking at anyone and just not try and draw too much attention to herself.
Bora's gonna do like the standard movie thing of just like check the top sill of the door frame, since he'd probably be almost literally eye height with it anyway.
Can I have an investigation check from you, please?
Oh great. I'm so good at those.
Car, did you do one as
Wait.
well?
I'm gonna cast guidance on Bora.
So it gives you an extra D4.
Yeah. Just get like a little ping, just a little spark of like a little like a
even-
mini comet that goes and like boops your head.
Even Disney Channel. Even with a -1, that's still a 19.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, so you hunt around for a key of some sort. You kind of like take a look at the like around the door frame stuff, and as you look at the floor, as you kind of like staring at the door, you do notice that there's a couple of panels of wood to the side of the door that look like they're not really nailed in properly.
Bora's just going to gently press at the panels and see if they will simply shift.
Yeah, so you press like the top part of one of the panels, and it sort of swings open on like a hinge or a pivot in the middle, and you do see that there is a small ledge there with a small iron key.
He takes the key. Good thing I didn't punch the wall. And then simply inserts key into keyhole and tries to turn.
Yep, door opens. Roll a dexterity. No.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine? No, so yeah, it opens up not easily. The door hinges as you open it, they kind of creak like really loudly as you open it. And you are greeted by a room with kind of like a sort of an archway doorway to the side. This room, hang on. He is about to start punching something again. So this room, again, it is relatively clean. It looks like it has been dusted, but the wood looks old, and in some places along the wall. Hang on 1 second, guys. Sorry.
I'm really hoping that Toma's just staring at the floor, like, intently again, just trying to mend the floor.
That is
As
exactly
all this
what
is
she's
going
doing. But I was going to say that after Anna's description.
Sorry, I'll start that again. So you open up the door to find a relatively fair-sized room. It's maybe about 20 foot by 20 foot, and there's an archway kind of doorway to one side, and it leads to a slightly smaller room. There is a large window opposite the door, and this one does look down over the river. So this is probably one of the few, I guess, apartments with a view, with air quotes. And you can see down into the river, and you can smell the river too from here. The room itself is it feels dark. The wood looks like it's old. It's had like basic maintenance, but it's not exactly clean. And in some places, especially around the window, you can see where there's been water damage to the wood that hasn't been fixed. And the window itself doesn't really have glass. It's more got like wooden shutters that open and close, and at the moment they are open.
So how soaked is the surrounding wood? Considering it's been, raining very hard.
It's actually quite dry. Like, it looks like there's been water damage, but the room itself is fairly dry.
I just meant because, like, it's been raining a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And the window's open?
Oh, no. So, yeah, the window's open. Roll a quick nature check for me.
14.
Okay, so as you look around and you're a bit hesitant, you come to the conclusion that the shutters had been closed, and it looks like they've been opened, especially with like the smell of the air as well. They've been opened recently, almost like to air out the apartment a little bit.
Okay. Well, this it's a place to sleep.
I mean, I've slept in the equivalent of prison cells before, so it's roomy to me. I'll let one of you two decide who gets the bedroom. I will simply sleep in this main room.
I do not mind. It is up to you, Ka.
I mean, I'm happy to share the bedroom as well.
I'd say the bedroom is like, so the main room is like 20 by 20 feet. The bedroom is more like 20 feet long and like maybe 10 feet wide. So it's like essentially half the size of this room.
It's room enough for 2 mats.
Well,
Either
anyway,
way.
we can decide on that
Yeah.
later. We do have pressing matters at hand. Which of you would like to hold on to the key? Because with my luck, it's just going to get rusted.
I'll
Those
take it.
monsters have like traumatized you guys a little bit.
He hands the key to Ka.
+1 key.
And if there's
Maybe
nothing
we should
else,
make some copies of this.
well, maybe, but I don't think we'll be here long enough for that to matter. Anyway, if there's nothing else pressing, I'll simply be waiting outside of the building for you two. We do have quite a bit to do today. What time is it right now?
I'd say at this point it's sort of early afternoon,
Okay.
midday, early afternoon sort of time. It's starting to get more humid as well at this point.
Oh, joy. I imagine we'll find Mr. Chul in the same place as last time, but I'd rather not keep him waiting, especially with our proposal that we have on hand today.
Do we have an appointment with him?
He's not the type of man you need appointments for.
What are we going to say to him if we are... We are planning on deceiving him, yes?
Mr. Chul, there might be valuable things inside of this temple that we've uncovered. Master Almach revealed to us that, or revealed to me rather, that he met with a particular individual who has a lot of interest in there. It may contain rare artifacts and or plentiful treasures, which may help you to swell and gain influence in the poor district. Does that sound rehearsed well enough, or...?
I think
A
it
little
sounds
too
a
well.
bit too rehearsed. I
Yeah.
feel like that is far too obvious that is fake.
I mean...
You sound a bit wooden.
Well, Have you met me?
The idea is definitely excellent. Maybe we propose that, well, of course, you found the 2 of us on this errand for Mr. Chul, correct?
I mean, he's already aware
yes.
of the 2 of you.
Yes. But you could say one of the last things you heard from Almach was about this mysterious trove of information. And if he wants to get the upper hand, he may need to also have access to that information.
I think those words are too big for me to say. So... Anyway, it's probably best that we just try to do this and, I guess, wing it. But, oh boy, this sounds like it's going to go wonderfully.
You are the only one who would have access to this information, so...
We can try and help you, but I feel like if we help you too much, it would be obvious that we are lying.
I mean, I'm not concerned really with lying. There are many ways to gain trust and influence here. I'll simply see if he has anything for me, and then I'll make mention of a rumor that I've heard from, I don't know, the street folk, something like that. Whatever, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, we'll follow
Maybe-
your lead.
Yes.
May Ujar help us. And with that, Bora's just gonna start heading out of the apartment building.
Okay. What about the other 2? So Bora's leaving already.
Kai would just kind of like to take a moment to do a once over of the apartment, see what kind of stuff is there. If there are any like sneaky listening holes, or also, I think I can cast detect magic as a ritual spell, right?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah.
So for first, roll investigation check to find like any spy holes or whatever.
13.
13. You do once over. You do find a few holes, but they don't look like spy holes. They look more like maybe holes that could have been made by like a mouse or something.
Okay. Yay,
Yay,
mice.
So they don't ping any like suspicions for you.
Mouse friends.
You do notice that what you did notice in the first like initial scan through, there is a small sort of stone brick area with a small chimney where you can cook some food if you would like. And with, I think with a 13, that's all really that you notice. The room does seem dry. Let's to like confirm your initial. It's not really suspicions, but concerns. You do confirm that the room is dry at the moment, and you can't feel or sense any dampness as you're sort of checking all the walls. And yeah, so with detect magic, so you sit down for 10 minutes, and I realize that Bora's wandered off, like, while you sit down for 10 minutes. Okay, and with detect magic, you don't sense anything magical in this particular area. At least nothing that, let me just double check, I think. Yeah, so you sense a few odd bits of magic, like you sense Atonement's ring, a few bits and pieces on like Bora, you yourself, like magic is pinging, but you don't feel anything in this room. You do get the odd sort of on the edges. I think it's like 30-foot radius. 30.
Yeah.
So on the edges, where it sort of just touches one of the warehouses to the left of the building. So if you're looking at the building to the left, you sense a charm or enchantment on the warehouse, but not on this building.
I can tell it's School of Magic, right?
Yes, I'm not sure which school of magic this would be. It's basically, I can't remember what school of magic, but it feels like almost like a security spell or like an alarm spell.
Okay.
Abjuration.
Abjuration.
Yeah, so it feels like an alarm type security spell.
Okay, that was kind of the idea. I wanted to just get a quick lay of the land. Also, are there any furnishings in this apartment, or is it quite bare bones?
It's pretty bare bones. You haven't seen anything in this apartment yet outside of like
there's like a
good.
Like, is there a pot on the stove? Or there like basic mats?
Not, I'll say that there is a pot on the stove and there are some slightly moldy mats in one in the corner.
All right, excellent. So we don't need to add housewarming shopping to our to-do list.
You like this sweeping on mold tonight, guys. Okay, yeah, so with that,
yeah, so after that, I'm going to kind of dust myself off. Atonement, have you been doing anything during this time, Atonement from Sin?
So after you probably would have sat down and started doing your ritual casting, she would have gone outside, and by the time that Car is finished and probably stepped outside, the first thing that Car would notice is that the hole in the floor has gone, and Atonement from Sin is also not there.
Alright, so Bora and Atonement, where have you gone in this 10 minutes?
Bora is literally just waiting outside.
Atonement has joined him.
Okay, I will say, as the day goes on, the heat is starting to build up a little bit, and you are no longer in the nice, crisp mountain air. you are in an enclosed space where the heat and the water vapor has not very many places to go. So it's hot and it's humid. And as you're sitting there exposed to this increasing heat, it's that kind of heat where that kind of humidity where you step into it and you sort of feel like you're sweating a little bit as you walk through the air.
So, Atonement, you remember how we were inside that apartment building and you stamped through while it was still sort of dry?
Yes.
Now imagine that when it's all humid and literally it turns into paper.
I feel like whoever is running Milan needs to put more money into this sector.
Well, it's really the slumlords that prevent it from progressing any further. Regardless of where someone like Father Almach puts their money, how to describe? Think of the terms of building contracts, and then imagine that just getting whittled away by people who simply want more money than actually taking care of things. That's basically what happens.
Why don't these people just share everything out equally and help them?
Well, that's why they send in people like me to make sure that eventually happens.
I guess that is progress.
You see, shoring up everything under particular individuals allows for stronger negotiations and to allow for certain types of management to take root. And when that happens, well, we can all simply rise up on a good tide. But I'll be sure to explain much more of that when we're not within prying ears and eyes. As of course he's walking through a simply crowded street saying all this shit.
I wouldn't say like you would be walking away too far, though. Maybe just exploring the local area.
Okay.
Because
So
I'm
I'm
still upstairs.
So if you want,
okay, so I'm safe then. I'm literally just saying this outside the door.
Yeah.
And I mean, enough people potentially recognize Bora because he's like a prize fighter, so him saying anything kind of makes sense.
Sorry, my internet froze for a second.
It's okay.
Yeah, so eventually Car does make their way out, sorry. And I'm assuming you give them sort of like the building's sort of safe.
Yeah. So like I'll go and I'll like close the door and I'll give it a lock, just like walk down. Test the place where the hole was, like just a little bit with my foot.
Yeah, it seems pretty sturdy. It feels very
Excellent.
much like it's just the wood is there again.
And then just make my way down the stairs and out and be like, all right, well there does not seem to be any it seems like a fair enough place to avoid there wasn't any magic.
That is good to know.
What about that other hole that got punched in the floor? Is someone working on that, or is that just gonna stay there?
I have already dealt with the hole, don't worry.
Good work with that.
If Atonement was doing that as you were casting Detect Magic, you could probably feel like pulses of her like casting mending as you're doing your thing.
You would also feel a little bit of embarrassment leaking through in the magic.
That's how strong it was.
There's an emotional connection to this. What is it? Ah, yes, shame.
And Kaz also going to be like, wow, it's gotten pretty little bit much out here, hasn't it? And just like cast gust and like a little breeze is gonna kind of play across everybody and hopefully like take a little bit of the heat off.
As that happens, just like Bora's fur is already getting managed, so the gust hits and just like slicks back.
Can I use shape water to like pull some of the water out of Bora's?
You know what? I'm gonna say, what's your main you use wisdom as your main spellcasting modifier? I'm gonna say just roll a straight up wisdom check, and if it beats your spell DC, you can do it.
Let's see. My spell DC is currently 13. I rolled an 11 plus 3 is 14.
Yeah, I'll say that you have the skill to be able to do that.
So Bora's fur is literally just like being tugged back and forth as like the moisture is being dragged out of it. And it's like,
oh no, I'm doing
just
it gently. Like there's just the little like trickles that are kind of coming out and just kind of like dripping down onto the like mysteriously missing the rest of your body and just kind of like siphoning themselves off to the ground.
Bora literally is like a 5-year-old child just being, having their face wiped off by their parents. just getting the schmutz out.
That would be more comfortable. I could not do that if you would prefer.
I appreciate the effort, but we are losing daylight, so can we...
Oh, I can do this and walk at the same time.
Wonderful.
Also, Car, as he says we are losing daylight, you know that is in fact not true. You still have like 7 hours of daylight left.
I swear it's like midday.
It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you're like, it's okay. Go ahead and lead the way. I'll just... The heat must be oppressive. It's not great for me. And you've got a lot of insulation there, so...
Well, that's not the only thing that's oppressive in the poor district.
Okay.
What else is... what else is oppressive in the poor district?
Oh no, we're not starting it. We just had this conversation. There are a lot of shady people here.
I was trying to make a lighthearted joke, but I see that did not work. I'll refrain from joking in the future.
Can we please be going? This feels like we have been stalling for quite a while. We technically did not even need to come to this building. We could have just gone straight to Almak. We've wasted like an hour.
Why would we go to Almak?
Shit!
Sorry, there are 2 gangster lords here. One is big time, one
I
is
didn't
little
say that.
time.
Edit that shit
No.
out.
Atonement said it. Atonement has to live with the embarrassment.
No, that's just me being an idiot. I keep getting Chul and Chunso confused because there's too many C's.
That's on me. That's on me.
Okay, so to clarify, this building belongs to, or is like with Almak. Chinso gave us the information for it, but we are going to Mr. Chul. And we're going to lie to Mr. Chul.
No, I do know that. It's just
okay.
I am right. I do. In my head, I was imagining Chul, but I was thinking Chunso, which made me think Almak. There's so many names.
I think Atonement from Sin has a crush on Chunso.
Don't we all?
So as you guys make your way across to the poor district, Bora leads the way. As you are crossing the bridge, I'll say, Car and Atonement. There's a particular individual that catches your eye as you are crossing the bridge. They are wearing a very plain-looking robe with very threadbare pants. They have quite pale, sort of like pinky pale skin. And they are obviously a dragonborn of some kind. You would recognize them as a gecko dragonborn. And they have a slight smile to their lips and slightly bulbous eyes, more so than the other dragonborns you've seen. And the main reason why they catch your attention is as you are crossing the bridge, they have stopped and they are just staring at the 2 of you. Well, at the 3 of you, but you 2 notice. And as you are staring at them, you see the tongue kind of come out and over one eye and then like comes back down into his mouth again. And then they seem to just like blend into the crowd seamlessly as you guys like...
Can I what? That's so weird.
And with that, I'm gonna end the session.
No!
Who is this person?
are those the chameleon dragonborn that we've been working on as setting?
No, that's my gecko dragonborn that I've been working on secretly.
Okay, because
That's so
if it was
cool.
like, and then they just blend into the crowd like chameleons.
That would actually be a
So-
fucking cool ad idea. Though.
Yeah, so I just had this image of this gecko dragonborn, like just staring at you guys and just like licking its own eye. I had to research actually if that was a thing that geckos actually do, or if that was just me. And if they do actually do it, so I'm good. So yeah, with that, that's gonna be a mini cliffhanger for the session, where you guys can think about between this session and next session how you want to approach Almok. And
You mean
this gecko
Chul?
dragon-
Chul?
You did it!
Oh, I blame
It's
Helen.
not just
I
me.
blame Helen.
Hang on! This isn't my fault. You're the one who named
Remember,
the characters.
kids, your DM can get the character wrong too.
Oh please, I get everything wrong. Yeah, so you guys can figure out how you want to approach Chul and like that kind of thing for the next session. So with that, thank you everyone for listening to today's episode. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at with our usernames. Hope I can speak today. Is Spirit on Tap D&D, and we have a website, spiritontapdnd.com. You can follow me on Twitter at AnnaS100. Eric, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Slippers Cosplay. Definitely not punching holes in floors.
Helen, where can we find you?
On Twitter as It's Songbird and Instagram as Songbird Cosplay. That was really hard to think of those words then.
Oh, don't worry, I had the same moment. And Ginny, where can we find you?
I'm at Ms. Ginny Liz on Instagram and Twitter, and Ginny Liz on Twitch. And I only punch floors and holes. Wait. Holes and floors. They really deserve it.
What is going on? And actually, technically, I didn't punch a hole in the floor. I kicked one. Thank you.
Oh, no, that was entirely directed at Bora. Who very
nice.
intentionally punched the floor.
Because of reasons.
It was beautiful. It was such a touching moment.
He was trying to make her feel better. That's
No,
so sweet.
we're just a bunch of socially awkward weirdos, and it's amazing.
I love it.
None of us have ever none of us went to like a public school. We all were like the homeschool weirdos. And
Oh, yeah,
we just had to interact with people.
I'm literally like private school elite.
Laura never went to school.
She is like yeah. Anyway, with that, thank you. And we will see you next episode.
Bye.
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 Greetings, this is Atonement from Sin, the party's grave domain cleric, also known as Helen, one of the players on Spirit on Tap. Our D&D campaign is inspired by Asian religions, cultures, and regions. Feel free to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Spirit on Tap D&D. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you soon.